It's now time to drift on over to Who's Who. This segment has become a household name in our community. Who's Who on the Capitol Forum is narrated by a popular figure of this community, Mr. Sonny Segal. Mr. Segal is the CIO of Montgomery County, Maryland. Today, Mr. Segal's guest of honor is Dr. Sudhir Sekhsaria, who is really no stranger to the GTV screen. On this set, Mr. Segal questions Dr. Sekhsaria all about his different outstanding community involvements. Let's see these two gentlemen in their dialogue.
Welcome to the Who's Who show. This is your host, Sonny Segal. Today, my guest is Dr. Sudhir Sekhsaria. He is a reputable allergist and immunologist here in the Washington, D.C. metropolitan area with practices all over Maryland. His credentials require him to work with the most leading research doctors in his field and in pediatrics at the National Institutes of Health, where he has sponsored research. The asthma, allergy, and sinus centers are well known to all of us and are easily accessible. In addition to being a physician of such renown, Dr. Sekhsaria is actually the past president of the Indian American Medical Association, where he was president from 2011 through 2013. And now he is the chair of the Legislative Committee of the American Physicians, or the American Association of Physicians of India, which is API, and he is active in the Guru Gobind Singh Foundation, Gurudwara Sahib, on Trevilla Road in North Potomac. With that, let me welcome Dr. Sekhsaria. Dr. Sekhsaria, welcome to the show.
Mr. Segal, that was a very long introduction and not required. Well, happy weekend to all of you viewers. I'm very happy to be here again. I've been here in the past and I love being here. Thanks a lot.
Welcome. Yes, and having given this introduction, I have still failed to cover some of your contributions to the leadership of the community here in our region. I understand that you are the coordinator, the Mid-Atlantic region coordinator, much bigger than our metropolitan Washington region, for the Ekal Vidyalaya Foundation. Is that correct?
Yes, I'm one of the coordinators. We have several coordinators here. A few, like we have a regional president, but I work with the president as a coordinator for the region.
Can you tell us a little bit about Ekal's mission?
So, absolutely. This Ekal Vidyalaya is a passion for all of us. It is, I believe, an ultimate human service. So, Ekal Vidyalaya stands for Single Teacher Schools to serve the tribal population of India. So let me explain to you, the tribal population is 100 million people in India, which is, think of it as about 1/3 the population of US, with an illiteracy of 80%. 80% illiteracy. These are tribal villages or the forgotten villages of India. There are no roads, no electricity, no schools. So Ekal Vidyalaya was started in the late 80s to serve this population and to bring literacy there.
I see.
We believe in a strong motto. Our slogan is that if the kids cannot go to the schools need to be brought to the schools, to the kids. This was, of course, said by our revered Mahatma Gandhi ji. So we are trying to bring the schools to the children and try to adapt the schools to their environment and to their timings.
I see.
These are
so in other words, when you say adapt to their lifestyles and to their needs, how is that different from a conventional school?
Very good question. So these single teacher schools, there is one teacher that's taken from the same village or nearby village who is very fluent with their language and their culture. And these kids all have to sometimes help out with the household, with the agriculture, or taking their sheep, or sometimes the cows out. So we adapt their timings to what suits to the village kids.
I see.
And these schools are run at a very low cost initially. These are run for 5 years. The kids get a 5-year education, which propels them to further education in a more conventional setting.
I see.
So these schools are taught like under a tree, and then ultimately the villagers love it so much that they will put together a formal, like a structure for the school. So the schools are sometimes done in the late afternoon or early morning, so to adapt to the environment for the village.
So approximately how many such schools are there?
So since the early 90s, when we, late 80s and early 90s when we started, we've done tremendous progress. We now have approximately 55,000 schools that serve about 1.5 million children. 55,000 schools. Each school has about 30 to 40 children between that number, with one teacher, and they are taught 6 different subjects, including reading, maths, physical education, moral sciences, science, and all those subjects.
I see. So how are they funded? I mean, this is a wonderful program, of course, and a highly successful one.
So yes, it has been actually. It did get an award for being one of the most transparent, most impactful program NGO in India. The schools are run at a cost of like a very meager cost of $365 a year, which is we say $1 a day changes the life of like 35 children. So if you had to think of the impact of that.
$1 goes a long way.
$1 goes a very long way
for this fine organization.
So these are funded by individual donations from all over the world. For example, we have a chapter in United States of America. It's called the Ekal USA, Ekal Vidyalaya USA, with the headquarters in Houston.
I see.
And USA itself sponsors about close to more than 20,000 schools. So each person can give one school, which is $365, and that will change the lives of 35 children.
Given the very large number of schools Ekal is operating,
55,000.
Our contribution is rather small. But anyhow.
No, I think that's actually not necessarily true, Mrs. Segal. If you think of it, we are, from US, we are sponsoring practically half the schools.
Is that right?
About 25,000 of the schools close to,
Now I hear that the mission that was led to India by one of the regional county executives, Montgomery County, Maryland, visited one of these schools and were greatly impressed. Do you know, or did you arrange this visit?
I'm aware of this, and I was one of the organizers for this. So we were very blessed that Mr. Ike Leggett, who took a delegation to India, and one of his initial cities he went to was Hyderabad. So we went to a rural area near Hyderabad with our delegation and visited one of the Ekal schools. And we saw a lot of wonderful kids, and we were able to see the actual school in working.
I see.
Very impressive, rather.
Yes, and so I heard, that this is huge. Now, I have actually seen you at the large entertainment events that are held around town, especially when our Bollywood stars come shining on Washington, D.C., and you've been there in the front talking about Ekal,
Yes.
How's that worked out? Meaning something so philanthropic, right? Just ahead of something so dynamic.
Well, I think we use any kind of a chapter or any kind of a forum we can get to promote ECL activities and to seek funding and donation for ECL. Try to impress on the people what ECL does. Like I said again, I think a dollar goes a very long way. We all want to do human service. We all want to serve our country back, where we've come from. We just need to find an organization where we feel comfortable that our money will not be abused or misused. And ECL is such an entity. There is a lot of transparency. You can actually follow your school on the website.
Follow the specific school that one may sponsor.
Yes, ultimately, yes.
I see.
And you can also visit your school when you go to India. 92% of the money is plowed back into the actual schools, and only 8% is used towards running the organization.
So it is very efficient.
Very
in
efficient.
other words, in the way the funding is utilized, it is very highly efficient.
I do want to add that, this is one of the projects that ECL started with learning. However, we subsequently realized that we had a platform to bring overall development to the village. So we then started working on things to bring prosperity to the villagers and some economic development by teaching them things like vermi-compost, agricultural techniques to raise their agricultural. Remember, these villagers, they are very illiterate, poor people. They've never had any access to any kind of resources. So we are able to bring these things to them, and that has overall developed most of these villages, number one. Number two, we added subsequently a health component to them.
I see.
That is actually called Arogya Foundation.
Oh, I see.
So in
all within ECL.
In about 15,000 or 20,000 of these schools now, we actually have a health worker. And the health worker teaches all the villagers simple things like hygiene, trying to promote vaccination, good diet.
Timely inoculations.
Timely inoculations. So by doing some very simple preventive care, we are able to make a big difference in the health area besides education in these villages as well.
Oh, this is absolutely very, very informative and such a worthwhile cause. In a future show, perhaps we can talk about some of the success stories, because there are so many young minds being
Absolutely.
molded, so many young bodies being readied for the international competition that we see, and uplifting them, making them available for service to mankind around the world. I want to know how many of them have actually gone on to higher education.
We have a lot of success stories. We feel very, very proud and very happy to tell you that a lot of these kids have gone to college and are in high professions. We have police officers, doctors, teachers from all of some of the students that have come out.
Well, this has been very informative.
I
surely
really
we'll have
appreciate it.
to
Thank
come
you for
back.
getting me here. I do want to say that we try to do two main events in this area here. One of the events is coming up in a few months. We are doing a musical event right here in Northern Virginia.
I see.
In Annandale, in the Northern Virginia Community College.
Oh, I
so
see.
on May 29th, Friday evening at 7:30, we have a wonderful Bollywood group coming to perform here.
And we look forward to that.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for being on the show.
I appreciate that you got me here, and thank you very much for having me here.
You're welcome. This is Sonny Segal from the Who's Who show on the Capitol Forum, signing off for now. Hope to see you again next month at the same place and the same time.